Hey there guys, it's Skipper Megan. If you are new, then welcome aboard, and if you are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much to all of my recent subscribers. Great to have you with us. And if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that red button down there and subscribe. Come along with us because I'm going to be talking about everything Disney, of course. So this week I'm going to be talking about our top 5 quick service restaurants and locations in Walt Disney World. That's not limited just to the parks. I am going to include Disney Springs in there as well because Disney Springs is basically just a giant mecca for food now. So if you are looking for somewhere to eat, make sure you do check out Disney Springs and don't limit yourself just to the parks. So these are just my opinions. A lot of people have a lot of different choices as far as Disney restaurants go. Some of you may absolutely hate the ones that I've picked. You may have some that are your absolute favorite, do not miss restaurants, and I have not selected them. That's perfectly fine. Everyone has different tastes. My husband does not even agree with this list. So this is just purely what I think and what I would want to do every single time I go to Disney World. So our number 5 pick, or my number 5 pick, is Captain Cook's, and that is at the Polynesian Village Resort. We have only actually been there for breakfast, and that is the reason that we will go back. If you have heard of Tonga toast, that is the main draw for us. So here is a picture of Tonga toast, and as you can tell, it is massive. It's a huge, thick slice of, I think it was sourdough when we had it, a slice of bread, and it's got a banana in the middle, and they've done it French toast style, you know, so it's got the cinnamon and sugar on the outside, and it's warm and it's gooey and delicious, and then it comes with like a strawberry, some kind of jam preserves that you have on the side. Who needs that? That's fruit. We just need the Tonga toast and the bacon that comes with it. But that was a super filling breakfast. My husband never is like full from breakfast, but that did it. So if you are looking for a really fun, different kind of breakfast, then Captain Cook's is definitely a great place to check out. They do have lots of other like plain kind of stuff. You can get bagels, you can get eggs and bacon and all that kind of stuff. But if you're going to be at the Polynesian, you might as well check out something a little bit tropical, right? So if you are concerned that you may not be able to get in there because you're not staying on property at the Polynesian, if you pull up to the gate and tell them that you're going to eat there, as long as they have space, then they'll tell you that it's fine, go ahead and park. If they do say that right now they're limiting it only to resort guests and people with reservations for a table service like Ohana, then you'll just have to park over at the Transportation and Ticket Center, TTC, and then you'll have to either walk or take the monorail, and it's just one stop over from on the resort monorail. So it's really not that big a deal if you do have to park over there, but if you do want to park at the Polynesian, go ahead and try that out. They should usually let you in. Just make sure that you do move your car. Don't just head straight on into the Magic Kingdom and leave your car parked at the Polynesian all day. My number 4 pick is in the Magic Kingdom, and it is Columbia Harbor House. So that is right outside of the Haunted Mansion and Memento Mori gift shop right there in Liberty Square. It's kind of on the backside of the Hall of Presidents. And Liberty Square is one of my favorite lands in Magic Kingdom. And I know that's kind of a weird choice, but I love Liberty Square. So we always go to the Harbor House because A, they have pretty decent food that is, you know, it's going to be like an actual meal, which if you haven't seen our park bag video, if you haven't seen that, go ahead and click right up there. I'll have it linked. You can check that out and see what we take into the parks. I always take a lot of snacks because I don't like sitting down for a full meal, but if we do sit down for a full meal, I'm going to Harbor House because they have a lot of different options. If you don't like fish, you don't have to get fish. You may think that you're just going to have fish, but they do have fish and chips. They have chicken. They've got chicken pot pie. There's a picture of that. Super huge. Couldn't even finish it. Comes with a whole bunch of broccoli, which was actually not cooked, like overcooked to death. You know, it's not mush or anything, so it's just how I like it. And so, you know, actually a couple of really great options. And the main draw for us is there is a ton of seating. So if you are just absolutely exhausted, you do not want to stand anymore, you cannot bear the thought of sitting on another wall and eating a sandwich in the heat, go on into Harbor House. Get a little something and go and find a seat because there is so much seating. There's a full upstairs that is hardly ever full. We have never not been able to find a seat. And sometimes if you time it right, you can have a seat that overlooks Liberty Square a little bit and you can see the parade coming by. It's great for people watching. You can see out over Haunted Mansion and all the way down into like the Tangled Toilets area, depending on where you're sitting. So always a great, great option if you just want to go and sit down for a little while and stay out of the heat. Number 3 is an unorthodox choice, I'm sure, because it's the Boardwalk Bakery. Hear me out. We stayed at the Boardwalk for our honeymoon, and that was the closest quick service to us. So every single morning for our entire 2 weeks there, we went down and we had breakfast at the Boardwalk. It doesn't just have breakfast though. They have sandwiches, they've got salads, and all of them were really, really good. Everything that we had was really great, very fresh tasting, and everything is kind of made right there. If you get a cinnamon roll, ask for extra icing. We didn't know that at the time, but we desperately need to go back now. But everything is really great. Besides the soups and the salads and the sandwiches, they also have, obviously, baked goods. And who does not love a cinnamon roll or a cupcake or a piece of cheesecake tiramisu? Like, it's everything. We need everything from the Boardwalk Bakery. And it's also super convenient if you want to go and hang out on the boardwalk for a little while. If you're in Epcot, just walk out the back side there between France and the UK, and you can just walk right over to the Yacht Beach Club and Boardwalk area. You can hang out over there and get something to eat at the Boardwalk Bakery. So my number 2 is at Disney Springs, and it is the Earl of Sandwich. We have gone to the Earl of Sandwich every time I've been to Disney for the past probably 10 years. I love the Earl of Sandwich. It is nothing special. It's just a sandwich shop, but I love it and I can't have it at home. So every time we go to Disney, I absolutely have to have an Earl's Club from the Earl of Sandwich. There it is. Not a super great picture, but it's delicious. Trust me. My number 1 pick is the Yorkshire County Fish Shop in the UK Pavilion in Epcot. Most people probably think that that is a strange choice for the number 1 favorite quick service meal, but that's what I like. It's not that I can't get fish and chips other places, it's just something about the atmosphere of the Yorkshire County Fish Shop. The UK Pavilion is one of my favorite pavilions. I don't know why. I love Japan too. Everyone loves Japan. And Mexico, super great theming. But something about the UK, I could literally spend hours in the UK Pavilion, even though there's not all that much to do. I love it. And I just love to get some fish and chips and go sit down by the water and hang out and try to keep the birds away so that they don't steal my fish and chips. But it is so delicious. It's always good quality. It's a perfect portion size for me. But when you see the signs that say do not feed the animals, make sure that you do not feed the animals at any point in time. Story time. The first week that I was at Disney World, when I was working there for my college program, I went to Epcot by myself and hung out for a couple hours and went basically specifically to get some fish and chips because I love them. So I got them and I went and I found a bench in the shade and I was just sitting there enjoying my fish and chips, and a squirrel came and sat on my shoulder and he tried to take my fish and chips, and I am in probably 30 to 40 people's vacation pictures and videos because a giant tour group came by and they all thought that it was hilarious. So there was a squirrel sitting on my shoulder and like running around across my lap trying to take my fish and chips, and I was just like constantly like moving it, trying to fight away this squirrel. And there's a little picture of the little guy. He was my friend like 3 days into my college program. So if you do see a sign that says do not feed the animals, this is why, because then they try to steal everyone else's food. So that is our top 5, but I'm going to actually throw in an honorable mention, and it is honorable mention and not number 1 only because it is not technically Disney quick service. It is quick service and it is in Orlando, and it is the Publix chicken tender subs. Yeah, I know I sound crazy. Any other Tim and Jen Tracker fans out there? Track team? Yeah? No? They have mentioned the chicken tender subs from Publix so many times that I said we absolutely have to try them, and the last time we were there, we had 3 in 4 days. They're that good. And they're like $5. So you go in and you grab it and you put everything you want on it, and they're super nice in Publix, and you just go home and you chow down on your chicken tender pub subs, and they are delicious. And I'm so desperate for one that I'm trying to make my husband drive 149 miles to the next state to get to the closest Publix. That is how good they are. So I would say don't take my word for it, but you can take my word for it. They're pretty delicious. So now that is it. That is our top quick service meals in Disney World and Orlando. So if you have any other suggestions, let me know what your absolute favorite quick services are down below. If you don't like quick service and you prefer table service, let me know some of those too, because I'm always looking for suggestions for the next time that we head down there. And I will see you guys next time. Bye y'all.